It is great to have you all on the show this morning, and as we prepare for the 2023 presidential elections results, I'd like to draw your attention to the major stories parading the newspapers this morning. My name is Tion Joseph. I remain your regular host. I'll begin the show with Leadership newspaper, the most influential newspaper in Nigeria. On the front page of Leadership this morning, the lead story says Tinubu may win presidency if trend holds across 8 more states. APC candidate opens significant lead over Atiku. Labour Party withdraws electoral map as Obi claims Lagos in historic victory. That is the report we have on the front page of Leadership newspaper. But as a digital generation, you can always find more stories on our website. You just need to hop onto www.leadership.ng and you will be served. Now we take a look at the reports coming from the Punch newspaper. And the lead story says presidential poll, INEC continues results collation despite protest. LP PDP stage walkout, accused commission of bias. Obasanjo knocks INEC, asks Buhari to intervene. Ex-president bent on imposing his candidate, APC. That is the report we have on the front page of Leadership this morning. Now we take a look at this day, and the lead story on this day says the world moves against Nigeria's tainted polls. US, EU, AU, ECOWAS, Commonwealth condemn lack of transparency by INEC. PDP, LP, 2 others stage walkout, more results come in. And lastly, coalition process can only be reviewed after exercise, says Yakubu. That is the report we have from this day this morning. Now let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. On the lead story on the Vanguard this morning says Atiku, Tinubu, Obi in tight race. INEC adjourns collation. Tinubu posts 2.8 million, Atiku 1.6 million, Obi 1.3 million in 10 states. APC wins in Ekiti, Kwara, Ondo, Oyo, Ogun. PDP in Osun, Yobe, Gombe. LP in Lagos, Enugu, and lastly, what the law says. That is what we have on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. And now to conclude this first part of the show, let's take a look at The Guardian. And the lead story says drama as observers, Obasanjo, Abdusalami query elections. Save Nigeria from looming disaster, cancel elections that lack credibility, says Obasanjo. Melaye, Ihedioha, 10 parties seek cancellation of results, storm out of collation center. Yakubu insists no overvoting in Ekiti, asks a grouped party to seek redress in court. And lastly, Tinubu warns against plots to procure order to store process. Thank you, viewers, for staying tuned for the first part of the show. Please do the same for the second part of the show. My name is Tion Joseph, and I'll be back your way again 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Until then, do have a great day.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
Good morning, viewers, and welcome to the Tuesday edition, February 28, 2023 of Inside Nigeria. It's reaching you on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Webber, and I'm your host today. I'm going to be having a virtual guest, an in-house analyst, Paul Wadima. Hello, Paul. Good morning.
Good morning.
You're welcome to Inside Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, we have papers for review and discussion this morning, and top on our list is Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Leadership is leading with the ongoing presidential and election results currently holding at International Conference Center, and that's what papers are leading with today. Leadership says Tinubu may win presidency if trend holds across 8 more states. Tinubu may win presidency if trend holds across 8 more states. APC candidate opens significant lead over Atiku. Labour Party withdraws electoral map as Obi claims victory in historic as Obi claims Lagos in historic victory. Of course, on leadership, we see Nigerian map and dotted with the parties and the 3 major parties and how they are leading. The APC has about over 5,034,646 votes, while PDP has 4 million. I meant APC has 5,034,646 votes, while People's Democratic Party has 4,026,637 votes, while Labour Party trails with 2,597,825 votes. We also have the map of Nigeria, and underneath it we have upsets, game changers, and survivors. We have Gaya APC loses senatorial seat to Sumaila of NNPP. Benue, Governor Otom PDP loses senatorial bid to Title Zam APC. Cross River, Governor Ayade APC loses senatorial bid to Jarigbe PDP. In Enugu, Governor Ugwanyo PDP loses senatorial bid to Okechukwu Ezia of Labour Party. In Ebonyi, Governor Umahi APC wins Senate seat. Ebonyi Egu PDP loses senatorial seat to Peter Uwembonyi of APC. In Delta, Elumelu PDP loses to Ngozi Okoli of Labour Party. Niger, Governor Bello wins senatorial contest. In Akwa Ibom, Senator Akpabio wins, APC returns to Senate. In Kebbi, Naala APC loses to Garba Maidoki of PDP. Gandu Jason in APC, that is in Kano, loses House of Reps seat to Tijani Jobe of NNPP. And in Plateau, Lalong APC loses senatorial bid to AVM Napoleon Bali, retired of PDP. Still on leadership newspaper, we have stories, of course, still on the ongoing presidential election announcement taking place, which took place on Saturday, February 25th, 2023. In FCT Senate, Labour Party's Ireti rejects cancellation of Buhari results. 2023 polls, Obasanjo Abdulsalami warned of rising tension. Beneath the masthead, we have poll lacks transparency, falls short of citizens' expectations, EU observers. And the bruised woman that trended during the election day, who was attacked with blood all over her face, who actually also went back to the polling unit to cast her vote, says, "I knew my vote would count," says bruised woman. IREV, PDP, LP, 2 other stage workers at Abuja Collation Center. These are some of the stories we have on leadership. Just before you share your opinion, Paul Wadima, I also want to take THISDAY newspaper. Just a minute. Obasanjo Abdulsalami fought manual transmission of election results when law stipulates electronic reporting. Obasanjo Abdulsalami fought manual transmission of election results when law stipulates electronic reporting. Call for setting up of committee to look at discrepancies. This committee demands probe of electoral mafias. Tinubu to president, don't allow Obasanjo lure you into tainting your democratic credentials. And of course, he made a big story on THISDAY. The world moves against Nigeria's tainted polls. That is on THISDAY. Can we have THISDAY on the screen, please? The world moves against Nigeria's tainted polls. The leading story on THISDAY. US, EU, AU, ECOWAS, Commonwealth condemn lack of transparency by INEC. PDP, Labour Party, 2 other stage workers, more results come in. Collation process can only be reviewed after SSI, says Yakubu, INEC chair. IG warns parties, candidates, others against inciting violence. Obi breaks record, Tinubu Bule in Lagos. Story on page 11 of THISDAY. And still on THISDAY has a table of the presidential results so far, 2023. Yes, Paul, we're waiting to hear your views.
Yeah, thank you for having me once again. I think the headlines we have heard are really interesting, and
Yes.
it is in line with the mood of the nation. Everybody is curious to know who is going to be the next president of Nigeria. That is what majority of Nigerians are looking for now. The millions of Nigerians that trooped out in their numbers on February 25 to cast their votes, they are waiting to see the outcome of their efforts. Unfortunately, as it has been recognized by the international community or international observers, the election was marred by violence, malpractices, and the incompetence of the electoral umpire. We all are witnesses of several videos, and thank God for technology. Things are not done the old way, which some of these old politicians are used to. Now, in real time, Nigerians were seeing what Nigerians were facing at each polling unit all over the country. And the report that came out did not present INEC in a good light. You see incompetence displayed everywhere. INEC failed to come to the officials of INEC failed to arrive at the various polling units on time. There were many places, especially in the southeast, where people were waiting for INEC officials until late in the evening. They were nowhere to be found. And when they came, they were in a rush to go back. Some of the officials came without the result sheets. INEC sent some people out without even the ink for thumbprint. It has never been this bad. This country has never seen it this bad. We thought that we've seen the worst of it in 2019, but this is an apology. And to make matters worse, INEC jettisoned its own principle. There are several interviews where Mahmoud Yakubu, the INEC chairman, literally vowed that results will be transmitted from each polling unit and uploaded to the server, and that you can see the result on real time right from your polling unit. That was not what Nigerians got. What did Nigeria see on February 25? What Nigerians saw was a archaic voting process. Manual process generally was what was found out, because there were several reports that even the beavers were bypassed, and we were told one of the reasons why there was so much excitement to register and collect the PVCs was because of beavers, because of the Electoral Act. We were told, Nigerians were told by Yakubu and other officials of INEC that nobody will vote without being verified electronically with beavers. But you can see there were several documentary evidences, videos, where people were thumbprinting, because you cannot thumbprint in mass like that if beavers was not bypassed. Many states are returning fantastic figures that if you put it to scrutiny, it is difficult to understand how those figures were arrived. In many places, the beavers malfunctioned. You have a situation where INEC officials or ad hoc staff could not be able to upload results to the beaver because it doesn't have the code. You send a soldier to the field and gave him a gun without bullets. Who does that in any part of the world that where people take their job serious? So you can see the verdict by the international community. The same international community that held the 2015 election. Look at their verdict. That this election falls short of international best practices in terms of transparency, accountability, believability, and what have you. So what you are seeing in the papers today is a reflection of that. But of course, you don't expect the APC to have anything wrong with it, because the thing is favoring them. But somebody like former President Olusegun Obasanjo, is a man that has intervened in critical moments in Nigeria's history. He has warned that danger is looming, that President Obasanjo and President Muhammad Buhari should intervene. INEC chairman should intervene. And what is Obasanjo demanding for? Obasanjo is not asking for rocket science. What he is saying is simple. INEC should stick to its rules. All those places that they voted and they bypassed beavers should be cancelled. All those places around the country, in Lagos State, in Rivers State, in Edo State, in Bayelsa State, in Kogi State, and elsewhere, where talks were used to disrupt the process, to chase away supporters of certain political parties. They should cancel the election result. That the whole of presidential election in Rivers State, as we have been demanded, should be cancelled. Presidential election should be cancelled. Because look, Rivers State is a special case of all that is wrong with what INEC did on February 25. The INEC machine was able to, after several tries, was able to upload House of Representatives and Senatorial, but blocked to send the presidential. And it was the same thing that happened in Lagos. If that smells premeditated, and also results should be cancelled. Let's go back to the results that the agents of various political parties, the ones they sign, we would like to see it. Nigerians would like to see it, yes, so that to build confidence in the process. And of course, what I'm saying is,
thank you so much, Mr. Paul. I want to intervene in that, and because we have other papers to see still on this presidential election announcement, and the Punch has its headline: presidential poll, INEC continues result collation despite protests. Presidential poll, INEC continues results collation despite protest. Labour Party PDP stage workers accuse commission of bias. Obasanjo knocks INEC as Buhari to intervene. Ex-president bent on imposing his candidate APC. And on the Punch newspaper, it says Commonwealth observers say election largely peaceful. US extends visa validity for Nigerians to 5 years. Above the masthead on the Punch, earthquake in Lagos, Obi Francis Jagaban orders. Tinubu wins Benue Jigawa, sustains popular vote lead. Atiku comes top in Yobe, Bauchi, Gombe. Labour Party clinches Edo State. And on The Guardian says drama as observers of Obasanjo Abdulsalami query elections. Drama as observers Obasanjo Abdulsalami query elections. Save Nigeria from looming disaster. Cancel elections that lack credibility, says Obasanjo. Melaye, Ihedioha, 10 parties seek cancellation of results. Storm out of collation center. Yakubu insists no overvoting in Ekiti. Ask aggrieved party to seek redress in court. Election falls short of expectations. Lacks transparency. US, EU observers. Tinubu warns against plots to procure order to stop process. And it's still the same story on Vanguard today. Now, Mr. Paul, I'm asking now with the international community. Hello, are you hearing?
I'm hearing you.
Now with the international community describing Nigeria's presidential poll as tainted, what is the way out? Because before we came to the studio, there are little pockets of protest here and there. We saw one in Asaba playing out, and even at the International Conference Center, they are already protesting. What is the way out, as you were enumerating before this paper, the headline news?
Well, yes, the way out is out there already in the public domain. The way out is exactly what former President Olusegun Obasanjo suggested. That is the way out. That is the only logical way out. We cannot allow millions of Nigerians to be disenfranchised by desperate politicians who sent their thugs to go and brutalize Nigerians because they want to exercise their franchise. All those places that Nigerians were brutalized, almost killed, the result in those places must be cancelled, and then the people given the opportunity to vote again. All those places in the southeast where people were denied voting, even as I talk to you, they were told in certain parts of southeast that they should come out on Sunday to vote. They came out, they couldn't vote. INEC didn't show up. They came out again on Monday. INEC didn't show up. So what happened is that if you allow those people not to vote, you are building up anger in the society. Therefore, we must stick with what Obasanjo is saying. All those people that were disenfranchised must be enfranchised. That is the only solution. Results must be cancelled in those states where there were reported and documented evidence of rewriting of results different from what was written at the polling units. Those results must be cancelled. There are already on social media and everywhere incidents in Rivers State and Lagos State. They ought to be cancelled. In Edo State, in Kogi State, all those should be cancelled. Fresh election done in all those places. Obasanjo has suggested that those elections should be done on 4th of March, this coming Saturday. I will expect that if Mahmoud Yakubu is serious about transparency, that is the first thing he should be announcing today at the Collation Center, at the International Conference Center, that they will be given the opportunity to vote on Saturday.
Okay.
All those
Thank you so much. But I
places
think
that
giving
people
back
could not
the
vote,
statement.
all those places that were marred by violence, they should be allowed to vote. The results should be cancelled. In fact, all the results that were not uploaded to the server right from the polling units should all be cancelled. Even if it involved doing virtually fresh election, most of the election, redoing a whole lot of things, it is far better to do the right thing than to do the wrong thing, no matter how cheap it may seem. Because right now people are looking at the cost, but the cost is because of the incompetence of INEC. Because what they promise, I've seen several videos where at a press conference, several press conferences, where Mahmoud Yakubu was literally vowing that there is no way that they will not do transmission of results from polling units in real time, in his words. There was a video where he was even challenging those who said that INEC is not going to do electronic transfer of results, transmission of results. He said those are fake news, that they are going to do electronic transmission of results. I have videos like that from the mouth of Professor Yakubu. But what we are seeing is a situation where that was jettisoned and we returned back to manual, and that's where the whole crisis started. And that's why the international community, who cannot be fooled, are saying that, look, this thing falls short of free, fair, and transparent election.
No, Paul, what happened along the way? Because there were so many, just like you pointed out, the INEC chair, Yakubu Mahmoud, did say that there was no going back and that there will be transmission of results from each polling unit. There was so much expectation, so many high hopes, given the deployment of beavers for this presidential election, and which also accounted for the large turnout of Nigerians across all the states of the nation for the presidential election and National Assembly elections. Then what happened? How come the process was hijacked?
The process was hijacked because INEC itself doesn't seem to be sincere. If INEC had been sincere, it will not send people out in the field without ensuring that they will have the capacity to transmit the results from various polling units on real time to INEC server, so that everybody, they were telling us everybody around the world will be seeing the results as they were dropping from each polling unit across the country. So what went wrong? Why is it that there were no fallback mechanism? Why is it that when the infrastructure collapsed, it totally collapsed? That's why if you read the statement or letter or by former President Obasanjo, go through it line by line, you can see that he had harsh words for INEC officials. He literally accused them of corruption. There were placed lines there where he talked about INEC officials collecting blood money to sabotage the election in favor of certain interests. That was basically what was. There's no other explanation for it. It was corruption was working on four legs on February 25, 2023. Because if not for corruption, I do not see the reason why an electronic equipment will function to send House of Assembly, National Assembly results, send senatorial results, but they cannot send the presidential. You can see that it appears premeditated. No matter how you try to convince people that this is just a malfunction of the machine when it goes to that stage of the presidency. And it happened in several places. It was happening in Rivers State, it was happening in Lagos State, it was happening everywhere. Come on. Nigerians are no fools. So that's why many people don't.
What is the impact on future elections? Because given what's happened, just played out with Beavers, the much tweeted Beavers or much hyped Beavers, and with what just played out now, what is going to be the effect on future elections right in the next 4 years?
To be frank with you, I do not think there's anything wrong with Beavers. I think Beavers has been successfully tried in off-season elections across the country, and he performed well. That was what qualified it to be now used nationwide in a general election. So the problem is not with the Beavers, it is with the men managing the Beavers and the servers. And if you look at the letter that Obasanjo wrote, he suggested that the next election that will take place to take care of those who are disenfranchised on February 25, they should remove the INEC officials who handle the Beavers and the server in that election and bring in new set of people. Because to me, and I think Obasanjo perceived it too, that the problem is not with the machine, it is with the men operating the machine.
No, on the same THISDAY newspaper, they said that Obasanjo Abdulsalami fought manual transmission of election results when law stipulates electronic reporting. Now there seems to be a breach now of the Electoral Act 2022. Is there any penalty to be paid?
Yes, of course. Many of us, we saw the drama that happened at the International Conference Center yesterday when one of the agents of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Dino Melaye, pointed out the obvious fact that the Electoral Act was not followed in the declaration of the results. And you can see how the INEC chairman tactically dodged what Dino Melaye demanded. Dino Melaye demanded that every state INEC officer or state INEC officer that comes to declare the result from their state must first make a vow that the result he's about to declare is in line with what they had uploaded to the server. You ask yourself, why did that is a very simple thing. It is not asking too much from these electoral officers from various states. It is not too much to ask from them. But why did the INEC chairman refuse to grant that request? Why didn't he make it a policy that any state official of INEC that comes to declare result from their various state must first make a vow that what we are presenting is in line with what we have transmitted to the server? What does that tell you? It tells you the reason why Nigerians are not buying into what INEC is saying. They are not buying into what the APC are telling Nigerians, that they should disregard those who are crying foul. So the issue is this: INEC should follow its laws, even if it means canceling these ones they have declared so far, until they get the real results from various polling units. And it is not impossible. May 29 is still far. INEC can go back, they can go back to the drawing board and begin to pick all the result sheets signed by all the polling agents across the country and began a new tabulation of results, so that there will be confidence in what they will declare and in what they will announce. If not, I do not think that Nigerians will receive this election as any different from the 2007 election, in which even the beneficiary, late Umaru Musa Yaradua, say was a sham. And to date, you cannot go online and get a comprehensive data, even on INEC websites, of the 2007 election results. And many Nigerians had expected that after all the issues that was raised about 2019 election, that the introduction of technology and the signing of the Electoral Act,
yes,
will not be in this kind of position we are right now. It's unfortunate that this is the issue we'll be discussing at this time in 2023. Something we thought we have overcome is now staring us in the face. And as Obasanjo is saying, danger is looming. So it depends on how they handle it. But my own is that we Nigerians should allow due process to follow. We should allow all the supporters of political parties should allow due process to follow. Nobody should take law into his own hands. The elders of Nigeria should intervene the way Obasanjo has intervened, by saying his own, by offering solution. And the ball is on the court of President Muhammad Buhari. He is the one that appointed INEC chairman. We all know that INEC is independent only as the president of the time makes it to be independent. Buhari himself has promised that he will conduct free, fair, transparent election, that he wanted to leave a legacy of transparency and accountability in an election. Even himself was a beneficiary, or is a beneficiary of transparent election. Because it was transparent election, the use of technology, that was able to put him in Nassau Rock Villa. So they cannot now jettison the same technology and return back to manual and think that they will do the old things, all over again and expect a different result. We're getting now was the same result we used to get when we have manual voting accreditation and what have you. They told us we have passed that stage. There will be no more ballot box snatching. There will be no more overvoting. There will be no more all kinds of things that will never.
Election will be transmitted. Votes will be transmitted
again.
Electronically.
But the votes and yes. So you can see it was a total disappointment. So what the solution, as I said, let Nigerians allow INEC to return back and follow its rules and regulations. It should go back to the Electoral Act 2022 and follow it to the letter. That would be the solution.
Okay. Thank you
that
so
is
much.
What will be the solution.
Yeah, thank you so much, Paul Wadima, an in-house analyst. Thank you so much for your presence in today's Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television.
Thank you for having me.
This is what we call it a day on today's program. Mr. Paul, I look forward to having you more on the program. And I remain Winifred Webo. See you tomorrow. Same time, same station.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.